What if I told you there's a robust psychological process that can transform your worst experiences into your most significant sources of strength? Every trauma, every failure, and every devastating loss contains within it the raw material for your most profound growth, if you know how to extract it. Viktor Frankl discovered this process in the most unlikely place, a Nazi concentration camp. While millions around him were being destroyed by their circumstances, he was developing a method that would save his own life and revolutionize how we understand human resilience. This isn't just about surviving difficult experiences. It's about transforming them into the foundation of an extraordinary life. I will show you Frankl's exact meaning-making process that turns any experience, no matter how painful, into a source of purpose, power, and unshakable inner strength. Viktor Frankl entered Auschwitz in 1942 as prisoner number 119104. Within days, everything that had given his life meaning was stripped away. His manuscript, his life's work on logotherapy, was confiscated and destroyed. His pregnant wife was separated from him and sent to another camp. His identity, his possessions, his future, all gone. But in this place of ultimate meaninglessness, Frankl made a discovery that would change psychology forever. He noticed that some prisoners, despite facing identical conditions, maintained hope and dignity, while others quickly deteriorated and died. The difference wasn't physical strength, intelligence, or even luck. It was more profound: their ability to create meaning from their suffering. Frankl realized that humans possess what he called the last human freedom, the ability to choose their attitude toward any situation, no matter how dire. But more than that, he discovered that we can transform any experience into something meaningful through a specific psychological process. This wasn't just theoretical for Frankl. Every day in the camps, he practiced what he would later call meaning-making, the deliberate process of extracting purpose and significance from even the most horrific experiences. He would mentally reconstruct his destroyed manuscript, imagining himself lecturing about his discoveries to future audiences. He found meaning in helping fellow prisoners maintain hope. He discovered the purpose of bearing witness to human resilience. When Frankl was finally liberated in 1945, he had lost everything except the one thing that mattered most: his ability to create meaning from any experience. This capacity didn't just help him survive. It became the foundation for logotherapy, a form of psychotherapy that has helped millions of people transform their suffering into strength. The victim-to-victor transformation. Understanding the victim mindset. Before we can understand Frankl's meaning-making process, we need to recognize what he called the victim mindset, a psychological state where you see yourself as powerless against your circumstances. This mindset has specific characteristics. Reactive thinking. You believe that external events determine your emotions and responses. When something bad happens, you automatically assume you have no choice but to suffer. Meaning deficit. You see negative experiences as purely destructive, with no potential for growth or learning. Pain is just pain. Loss is just loss. Failure is just failure. External locus of control. You believe that your well-being depends entirely on circumstances beyond your control. If life is going well, you're happy. If life is difficult, you're miserable. Narrative victimization. You tell yourself a story where you're the helpless victim of circumstances, other people, or fate. This story becomes your identity. Frankl observed that prisoners who remained stuck in a victim mindset rarely survived long in the camps. They had given up their power to create meaning, leaving them vulnerable to despair and psychological collapse. The Victor Mindset Revolution. The Victor mindset, by contrast, is based on what Frankl called responsibility, your ability to choose your response to any situation. This mindset transformation involves several key shifts. From reactive to creative. Instead of simply reacting to circumstances, you actively create meaning from them. You ask not, "Why is this happening to me?" but, "How can I use this experience to grow?" From meaningless to meaningful, you recognize that any experience, no matter how painful, can be transformed into something significant through the meaning you give it. From external to internal control. While you can't control what happens to you, you can always control what you make it mean and how you respond to it. From victim story to hero's journey, you reframe your narrative from "I am a victim of circumstances" to "I am the author of my response to circumstances." This shift from victim to victor isn't about denying pain or pretending everything is fine. It's about recognizing that you have the power to determine what your experiences mean and how they shape you. The meaning-making mechanism. Frankl discovered that meaning-making operates through self-transcendence, the ability to reach beyond yourself towards something greater. This happens in 3 ways. Creative values. Finding meaning through what you give to the world. Your work, art, and contributions. Experiential values. Finding meaning through what you receive from the world. Love, beauty, truth, connection. Attitudinal values. Finding meaning through the attitude you take toward unavoidable suffering. The third category is most important because it means that even in the worst circumstances, when you can't create or experience anything positive, you can still make meaning through your attitude toward your situation. The step-by-step meaning-making framework. Step 1. The pause. Creating space between stimulus and response. The first step in Frankl's meaning-making process is the space between stimulus and response. When something difficult happens, most people react automatically. But Frankl taught that there's always a moment, however brief, between what happens to you and how you respond. The practice. When facing a challenging situation, pause and take 3 deep breaths. In this pause, remind yourself, I have a choice in how I respond to this. My response will determine what this experience means for my life. The questions. In this pause, ask yourself, what is within my control in this situation? What response would align with my deepest values? How do I want to look back on how I handled this? This pause is crucial because it shifts you from automatic reaction to conscious choice. It's the difference between being a victim of circumstances and being the author of your response. Step 2. The reframe. Shifting from why me to what for. The second step involves a fundamental shift in your questions about difficult experiences. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Which often leads to self-pity and victimization, you ask, what is this for? How can this serve my growth? The reframing process. Acknowledge the pain. Don't minimize or deny the difficulty of your situation. Pain is real and valid. Identify the growth opportunity. Ask, what strength is this situation forcing me to develop? What lesson is it teaching me? Find the service potential. Ask, how could this experience help me serve others in the future? What wisdom am I gaining that I could share? Discover the character revelation. Ask, what does my response to this challenge reveal about my character? How can I respond in a way that reflects my best self? For example, if you lose your job, instead of asking, why did this happen to me? You might ask, what is this job loss teaching me about what I want in my career? How can this experience help me find work more aligned with my values? Step 3. The integration. Weaving experience into your life story. The third step involves consciously integrating your challenging experience into your larger life narrative to serve your growth and purpose. The integration process. Story revision. Rewrite the story of your challenging experience from the growth perspective rather than victimization. Instead of, I was betrayed by someone I trusted, try, I learned to trust more wisely and developed stronger boundaries. Wisdom extraction. Identify the specific insights, skills, or strengths you've gained from this experience. What do you know now that you didn't know before? Future application. Consider how this experience prepares you for challenges or opportunities to serve others. Meaning declaration. Create a clear statement of what this experience means in the context of your life. This divorce taught me to value myself and showed me what I really need in a relationship. Step 4. The action, expressing meaning through behavior. The final step is taking concrete action that expresses the meaning you've created from your experience. Meaning isn't just a mental concept. It must be lived out through your choices and behaviors. Action categories. Creative action. Use your experience to create something valuable: art, writing, a business, or a solution to a problem. Service action. Help others who are facing similar challenges. Your experience becomes a source of wisdom and support for others. Character action. Let your experience shape you into the person you want to be. Use it to develop qualities like compassion, resilience, or wisdom. Advocacy action. Work to prevent others from experiencing unnecessary suffering or to improve systems that failed you. For instance, if you've overcome addiction, you might become a counselor, write about your experience, or advocate for better treatment programs. Your suffering becomes a source of service to others. Real-world case studies. Case Study 1. The Career Devastation Transformation. Sarah was a 45-year-old executive fired from her dream job after a company restructuring. Initially, she fell into a victim mindset, feeling betrayed and worthless. Step 1. The pause. Sarah learned to pause when anger and self-pity arose, asking herself how she wanted to respond to this setback. Step 2. The reframe. Instead of, why did they do this to me, she asked, what is this experience teaching me about what I want in my career? Step 3. The integration. Sarah realized that her corporate job, while prestigious, had never aligned with her values. She rewrote her story. Getting fired was the push I needed to find work that truly matters to me. Step 4. The action. Sarah used her severance package to start a nonprofit organization helping other professionals navigate career transitions. Her devastating job loss became the foundation for her most meaningful work. Result: 2 years later, Sarah reported feeling more fulfilled. Her worst experience had become her most incredible gift. Case Study 2. The Relationship Betrayal Breakthrough. Mark discovered that his wife of 15 years had been having an affair. The betrayal shattered his trust and left him questioning everything about his life. Step 1. The pause. Mark learned to pause when rage and self-pity overwhelmed him, choosing his response rather than reacting automatically. Step 2. The reframe. He shifted from, "How could she do this to me?" to, "What is this experience teaching me about relationships and about myself?" Step 3. The integration. Mark realized that he had been emotionally unavailable in his marriage and had ignored warning signs. He rewrote his story. "This betrayal forced me to confront my own contribution to our relationship problems and taught me how to be truly intimate." Step 4. The action. Mark entered therapy, worked on his emotional availability, and eventually started a men's group focused on authentic relationships. He also developed a much healthier relationship with his ex-wife as co-parents. Result: Mark's second marriage, built on the wisdom gained from his first, became deeper and more satisfying than he had ever imagined possible. Case Study 3. The Health Crisis Awakening. Jennifer was diagnosed with a chronic illness at age 35 that ended her athletic career and forced her to restructure her life completely. Step 1. The pause. Jennifer learned to pause when despair about her limitations arose, choosing hope over hopelessness. Step 2. The reframe. She shifted from, "Why is my body betraying me?" to, "What is this illness teaching me about what really matters in life?" Step 3. The integration. Jennifer realized that her identity had been entirely tied to her physical performance. She rewrote her story. "This illness forced me to discover who I am beyond my body and taught me to value inner strength over physical achievement." Step 4. The action. Jennifer became an advocate for people with chronic illnesses, started a blog about finding meaning in limitations, and developed adaptive fitness programs for others with similar conditions. Result: Jennifer reported that while she wouldn't choose her illness, it had led to a richer, more meaningful life than she had ever experienced as a healthy athlete. Your meaning-making challenge. Here's your practical challenge for implementing Frankl's meaning-making process. Week 1. The pause practice. Identify one current challenge in your life. Practice pausing before reacting to difficulties related to this challenge. In each pause, remind yourself that you can choose how you respond. Week 2. The reframe exercise. Take the same challenge and practice reframing it. Describe 3 ways this experience could serve your growth or prepare future opportunities. Week 3. The integration work. Begin rewriting the story of this challenge from a growth perspective. What strengths is it developing? What wisdom are you gaining? How might it prepare you to help others? Week 4. The action step. Take one concrete action that expresses the meaning you've created from this experience. This might be helping someone else, building something, or making a change that reflects your new understanding. Remember Frankl's profound insight. When you can no longer change a situation, you are challenged to change yourself. Every experience, no matter how painful, contains the seeds of meaning if you know how to cultivate them. The difference between those who are crushed by their circumstances and those who are strengthened isn't the circumstances themselves. It's their ability to create meaning from whatever happens to them. This is your ultimate freedom. No one can take it away from you. Your worst experiences don't have to be your worst experiences. Through Frankl's meaning-making process, they can become your most outstanding teachers, strongest foundations, and most potent sources of service to others. If this video helped you see how to transform your difficult experiences into sources of meaning and strength, hit that like button and subscribe for more insights that bridge ancient wisdom with practical psychology. Next week, we're exploring Seneca's revolutionary approach to crisis management, how a Stoic advisor navigated Roman political upheaval, and what his strategies can teach us about handling uncertainty. Tell me below, what's one challenging experience you're ready to transform using Frankl's meaning-making process? I read every comment and often feature the most insightful responses in future videos. Remember, when we can no longer change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. That challenge is also your most fabulous opportunity. Are you ready to take it?